I'll call you by whatever pronoun you'd like.
All right, so my new pronoun is tickle my butthole, daddy.
It's so offensive. Hi, what's up, guys? This is Left Mike. Follow along on Twitter at Debate Left Mike, and I'm here with the one and only.
Are you referring to me?
Yeah, I was waiting.
I
That
mean,
was your.
last show you called me something totally different, so you
Nope,
just
no
never
adjectives
know.
this time. I don't like you this time. This is an
Jeez.
episode
Yeah, you were
where
way
you're
friendlier last
Yeah,
episode we did.
yeah, not friendly this time, man. So
Uh,
introduce yourself. Do it yourself. Whatever pronoun you.
well, this is Right Mike. You can follow me at Debate Right Mike. Tweet me comments, questions, insults, support, whatever it may be. I welcome all of it. Very open mind.
Yeah.
And, well, they make me sound like a hypocrite here in about 5 minutes. But today we're actually going to be talking about gender and pronouns. Everybody's favorite hot topic right now. So not LGBT. That's very, 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 very exclusionary. It's like LGBTQQAAIPP2, I think is where we're at now. Ever expanding alphabet soup. But you want to go ahead and take us away there, Left Mike?
Yeah, so you nailed it there. This is Right Mike's show. So we both suggest topics to each other. We talk on them. I tried to veto this one. Mike wanted to do it, so we're going to do it. So we're going to set it up there. We're going to give you a kind of our baseline argument, and then we will get into the exchange. So, in that this is your shtick. This is the one that you wanted to do. What are you trying to prove, you bigoted asshole?
It's not even so much as proving. So I don't. It's not trying to prove you wrong. Again, it's my stance and your stance. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. But the way that I look at it is there are two genders. I don't believe in this infinite genders. New York City's got 31. There's colleges that have like 47 official genders. And it's just, to me, absolute insanity. That'd be like if we created a new class and we don't call you a person anymore if you're born with one arm. That is a birth defect. That is not something that you're going to create another gender based off of. And then when it comes to the pronouns, I really, really hate the idea of compelled speech. So you can't say mandate that I have to call you something. Respect is earned. You can't tell me what I have to call you at all. If I want to call you some horribly offensive slur, that should be my right to do so. Not that I would. I'm just saying.
That's a long thesis. That's
should
a
be
long
my
thesis.
right to do so. How about you, Left Mike?
You seem very angry about something that affects you not at all. All right, so
it's not angry. Passionate.
Listen.
Like a lion and his lioness.
The right-wing conservatives, they hate things they don't understand, like calculus and math. And trans people, they're grossed out by them, so they hate on them.
I'll take you in calculus all day there, buddy.
That's true. You'll beat me too.
Yeah.
But the right confuses gender and sex. They use the two words interchangeably. They are not. They don't understand at all. And Mike doesn't really understand what the significance or lack of significance is in some cases. And further, it literally affects them zero. This is just something that they're uncomfortable with, so they're lashing out due to their own discomfort, which is selfish and stupid. So,
as a disclaimer, I am absolutely fine with the trans community. By the way, I'm not anti-trans or something.
He claims to be not anti-trans, so there's no hate coming. There's no hate coming from Mike on this one. But I vehemently disagree with everything he's about to say.
I think you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable again there, buddy.
For those trans people out there, I'm on your vehemently.
That's the right way to say it.
Ahem.
We'll just agree to disagree.
But I'm on your team, guys. And girls. I think that.
And.
Right. Fine. Well done. But you know what? It doesn't affect me. I'll call you by whatever pronoun you'd like. You deserve at least that. It's not hard. All right, Mike. Tell me what I'm wrong.
All right. So my new pronoun is tickle my butthole, daddy. You're going to refer
offensive.
to me as that?
So offensive.
But so my problem is, right, if we say that there's more than two genders, I don't get confused about gender and sex. I understand the postmodernist view that gender and sex can vary independently and they're both a spectrum, blah, 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 blah. Totally get that. However, oh, I got you. However, I do have a problem with there being unlimited genders. So if you want to say there's two genders and two sexes and then they can vary independently, I can get on board with that concept. And I think there's scientific research that supports it. It's a little bit mixed.
Think. Right.
It's a little bit mixed on the whole male female brain because a lot of times there's studies where one study I was looking at, they were studying people that had been on hormones, and I'm like, you can't say that they have a female brain if you shot them full of estrogen for years. Like, yeah, that's going to change your brain. So it's not. I don't really quite buy that, but the whole point is, I'm fine with gender and sex varying independently. I don't think they have to just be the same thing. I think though, if you want to change your gender. So your driver's license is your sex, right? Your birth certificate is your sex. I don't think you should be able to change your birth certificate, for example, because then it's just a lie. You weren't born a different sex than you were. However, if you transition and you are a man that goes through the hormone treatments and everything and gets the sexual reassignment surgery, then and you want to be able to change to female on your driver's license and change your name and all that jazz, 100% with you. Go for it. Or if you want to change your name and stuff, anyway, you can do that no matter what. But in order to change what you're being referred to by society, legally anyway, I think that you should have to I don't think you should be able to have a dick and then be a female on your driver's license just because you wear a wig and heels. And right now there's no standard for changing that in most places now.
We currently don't.
You can just say, oh, well, no, I'm a woman now.
Check your genitals. So
Lauren Southern and your favorite. I love Lauren Southern, by the way. And she's Canadian, and she went in and she got a doctor's note and said, like, identify as a boy, and she is legally a man now in Canada.
Good for her.
I don't have the. I can't say I don't have the balls to do it because that's really that's kind of paradoxical statement, but you know what I'm saying, right?
So that's interesting to me because I fall back to this doesn't affect you, right? So the fact that what's her name?
Lauren Southern.
Lauren. So what the decision that she made, even in satire or even as someone that is trying to infuriate or provoke the other side, it doesn't affect anyone, right? If someone wants to be addressed as her or him or he, that doesn't affect me, right?
No,
so
it doesn't. That's not what I'm arguing now.
They address. So
what about them, Z, Zer?
That's fine. I don't care what the pronoun is, right? If I address
my
you,
pronoun
you say,
is they.
That's
I'm
fine.
sitting at the bar by myself, and the other bartender goes, "What do they want?" And they go, "They." There's only one guy there, and they go, "No, it's a they."
But
I don't understand that.
So again, it doesn't affect
Plural.
you, right? So it doesn't matter. They can. If someone wants me to call them drywall, right?
How do you enforce that?
It's just common decency. I really, I'd prefer if you referred to me as drywall. Fine, doesn't affect me. And this is someone's identity that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that they're sensitive to. There's something that they generally feel in their heart. Like drywall is obviously a dumb example, but I'm using it
Tickle my butthole, Daddy.
It's so offensive. I'm using it to point out.
Who gets to be the great arbiter that decides then which pronouns are acceptable and which aren't?
I think that if you want to be addressed in that way, I think that's equally your right. And then, if I want to mock you, and I most certainly will, for being a prick that's taking someone's identity and marginalizing it and making a joke out of, the feelings that people have and just being comfortable in their own skin, I'll mock you for that. So if you want to use that pronoun or that phrase, I support your right to do it. But I think that it's offensive and it's a mockery.
Don't drink zesty blood orange Diet Coke. Get the Mango Tango Diet Coke. It's delicious. The zesty blood orange it's not so great.
That must be a Denver thing. I don't think we have that in Florida. I've never seen it. It could be, but so I don't understand where it doesn't affect you, right? So no matter what somebody wants me to call them, fine, cool.
No, so the issue becomes how do you mandate it then? So
you don't have to mandate it. So you have
that's what the advocacy is for, dude. It's not for people just saying, "Hey, I want you to call me this." It's saying it is discrimination. Is it a physical attack on my identity if you don't refer to me as my pronoun? This is my pronoun. That's the argument. And my
That's
point
fine.
is,
Refer to
no, it's
them
not. Like
on
you
their
can't make
pronoun.
me say anything. I'll say what I want. If I want
Okay,
to call
but
you a goofy-looking alien-bodied freak, I
so
will. I know I don't do that because I like you.
do you have do you have
The irony I just
I
did
was like I
was
feel personally attacked, but
no,
you
it was an
personally
example.
attacked
You
me.
know what I'm saying? Like if I
No,
want to
no.
be
Yeah.
super offensive and mean, it should be
So
my
do we
right to be
have
that way.
yeah, but do you have any examples of a person that's being like held criminally liable for using an incorrect pronoun, or is it just a bunch of people that are being intolerant pricks, right? Because I
Look
will
up Lindsay
disagree.
Shepherd.
I what is Lindsay Shepherd? Is
She
she
was a
doing it on
student.
purpose?
She was a student at well in Jordan Peterson. She was a student at the University of Toronto. I think she was a student there. It might have been another university, but Professor Peterson's at the or Dr. Peterson's at the University of Toronto, and she was just showed a video of him talking about pronouns basically, and the university brought in like their what is diversity specialist or some random whatever job it was, and they berated her basically, and she recorded the whole thing. She's like crying in this interview. This like really nice girl that was just trying to play this video that aired on a public broadcast. So that to me is appalling. So Canada's getting behind on this issue right now. New York City has a sort of a compelled speech law in place. In Canada, it's called Bill C-16, by the way, if you guys haven't heard of that. But in New York City, they have 31 official genders. A business can be fined up to $250,000 for not addressing somebody by their pronoun, basically, of their choice.
So I think
It's
that,
insane.
and I'll have to dig into this a
That's
little bit
compelled
faster
speech.
because
You're
I
saying I
can't
have
do,
to say this.
and that's what it is, compelled speech. So I think that it's a fine line, and again, I'm going to make a habit on this show of not speaking from a position of ignorance, like I know something. So I'm a little bit behind on this example here. That said,
That's
I
fair.
think
And it's
that
big of you to
there's
admit it.
yeah, no,
And as opposed to being like, well, you're wrong
no,
because you're a
actually, you're wrong.
racist. That's why
No,
we have
so
great conversations.
yeah, absolutely. So I think that's really interesting because I think that for me personally, and again, that my personal opinion, personal view, I think that you can compel speech to a point, right? If someone is intentionally being hurtful, if someone is repeatedly ignoring your wishes to do something that makes you genuinely uncomfortable, whatever word that is, there are words that you cannot use in public, or hate speech is a good example.
No, hate
However,
speech is not a thing in the U.S.
I
Supreme
you
Court's
say
wrote
it's
on this. Hate speech is not. There's no hate speech laws in the U.S. In the U.K. there are, maybe in Canada,
right.
but not in the
So,
U.S.
well, that's what I'm saying. I
But
agree
you
with that.
support them.
Right.
You
I
think
do.
there
I
should
agree.
be.
I think that I don't think you should be able to go to a street corner, find a bunch of people of color, and yell expletives at
What
them
is a
without
people?
any.
What does a people of color mean? I'm a
I'm not doing.
color.
This. I'm not doing this with you. Yeah. Right now you're salmon. What is that?
Salmon.
Nice shirt.
Oh, I'm wearing.
Jeez.
Sorry, I'm wearing a pink shirt to represent one of the two genders. To represent the I'm the male gender, and this is to represent the female gender. So I'm actually kind of representing
Yes.
both sides of the table.
Yeah. Because
But it's a table where there's two
nice
seats.
token
There's
roll.
not a million seats. There's not an infinitely number of changing seats. Whatever.
So yeah. So like I thought you were going to come in a different argument with this,
What did you think I
and
was going to argue?
that there are two genders, mer, and like, and
Why would I
for
say
those of you
mer?
that are arguing that, yeah, you do say mer. They're arguing that there are two sexes, right? And they're not even that, right? There's male, female, and then depending on birth defects, hormone levels, it's not always as binary. But gender is a societal construct. Gender is just, we've created it. We've created it and we've defined it. So for someone to feel a different gender isn't like, it doesn't have to be tied to their biology. It often is, but it doesn't have to be. And for someone to request to that it not be, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And again, so you and I are going to disagree on compelled speech. I think that in that I support hate speech. I support it. I don't think that
You support
a
hate
waiter.
speech. You heard it here, guys. Left Mike, right Mike
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Left Mike
exactly.
supports hate speech. Right Mike does
Supports
not
hate speech.
support hate speech.
So if you're being hurtful, I think you should be held liable for it. If you're a waiter and I, and the person waiting on me uses the wrong pronoun once, I don't think
Ooh.
that's enough to be criminally liable or civilly liable.
What about
I think
twice?
that
Or
what
is
about
it third time's the charm?
so again, I think malice is the key there. Like many things in my heart, I think malice is the defining line.
So
So
if I don't, well, then I would never be guilty of it because I don't have any
no, because
malicious
you're being
intent. I just don't believe there's more than two genders.
yeah,
So if you
but
ask
you're
me to
being
call you they or z, I
you're
will politely refuse and say,
but
okay, well,
you're being antagonistic.
she wants to be called they. She has that preference, but she's a she, so whatever. Show me your driver's license then if I'm wrong.
Just for why? Why does it matter? That's what
That's
you and
over the
I
top.
just
I didn't really mean that.
yeah, hateful. So yeah, but
Because I don't
for
really
me,
care for the most part. But I'm just not going to, I don't believe in compelled speech. I can say whatever I want.
so so do you believe that? Do you really believe? So maybe that's
Unless
the
it's a
root
call to
issue here, right?
action, I can't say, hey, I'm going to murder you right now. I'm going to my car to get a gun so I can murder you. Like that,
Right, of
there's
course,
there's a
and
threat of immediacy. Then yes, it's a
right,
crime. So I can't
okay.
say that. Well, I can still say it though, but then I will face consequences for it. I don't think there should be consequences that you face for saying
So
this isn't George Orwell's 1984. This isn't
oh,
Newspeak.
like
Like,
slippery slope, man. Come on, you're better than that.
no, I'm
But
not, because
the
I've read 1984,
so
and that's
the
terrifying.
yeah, and when the corporations have all the power, it's going to
Yeah, I'm
happen.
gonna be sitting there like getting tortured, and they're gonna be like, "How many genders are there?" And I'll be like, "Gender's a social construct. There's unlimited genders." And they'll be like, "Okay, he's ready to go out back into the world."
It just yeah, because that's what's going to happen. I just don't
Let's hope
understand
not.
that. I don't understand where the harm is
Tickle my
from your
butthole,
side.
daddy.
So again, like it comes down to compelled speech. You're right. That's really the heart of this issue: is can you force someone else to use a term they're comfortable with? And I think that uh, yeah,
You
I
think
think that you
yes?
can, you can
That's
regulate to a
insane.
certain point. You can regulate, courtesy. I think that if you're doing something out of
You
malice,
can
I think that's
regulate
terrible.
courtesy. You heard it here,
You should.
guys.
I'm Canadian. I'm super polite. I think we should all be polite to each other. And I like.
But through how
There's no
polite are
reason
you
not to.
being though? If it's through threat of government force, you eliminated the whole point of it
Because
in
you're
the
being
first
an
place.
asshole. Don't be an asshole. And this doesn't come
You're
up.
gonna make
Like
it illegal
why?
to be an asshole.
Yeah.
You look like you're from outer space with those
Judy.
chrome headphones.
I mean, it's better than your non-wrinkled salmon striped shirt.
I ironed it. I ironed my salmon shirt. It's not salmon, it's pink. Right?
Looks terrible.
Real men wear pink. It looks
Wait,
fantastic.
all right. So no, I don't see the harm.
I do. I think compelled speech laws are a really slippery slope. I think that free speech is really the only way that we have to work through problems without violence. I think that we've come a long way as a race, people, the human race, where we're able to reason through things we have a relatively civil society when you compare us with history. So we're not just slaughtering each other all the time and like raping each other's wives, and so we live in a much more civil society now. But one of the mechanisms that we use to resolve our problems, and probably the primary mechanism, is going to be free speech. It's going to be that we can talk through things, and we're not afraid to say something
Yeah, but
for fear of some sort of government. So if I don't believe that there's more than two genders, and you want to force me by law to call you they, I will go to jail for that.
no, not the first time, but if you do it
I'll
repeatedly,
do it
like
repeatedly
over and
because I'm
over
not going to
again,
call someone they. I think it's made up.
that's ignorant. That's dumb. So
That's
all right.
fine. You can
So
call me ignorant or dumb, but the thing is,
so
if you want to introduce compelled speech laws and put me in jail for that,
I
I'll
will.
put on a hunger strike and I'll probably die there. That's fine.
All right. So concluding remarks. I want the last word on this one because it was your episode.
Or I'll say I identify as a woman right before I go to jail, and then you can send me to that female prison, and I'll be a celebrity.
Christ. See, this is why we can't handle you people. Concluding remarks.
What do you mean, you people? I don't set out to offend anybody. I don't set out to upset anybody. I don't believe in compelled speech. If a biological male, puts on is trans or even cross dress or whatever, and when you're cross dressing, you want to be called she, and you go, hey, will you call like I identify as a woman or I'm a woman. Will you please call me she? I will say absolutely. I didn't mean to offend you, right? But if someone comes in and wants to create a law to try and force me to say something, then I'm going to say F off. I
So
don't believe in compelled speech laws.
you're for the practice, but you just don't want it to be law.
Right.
Okay,
I don't want people. I don't want people to be, bigots
that's
and offensive and
I
hateful. But I don't think that the way to solve the problem is to create a law. I really think that that's a bad way to do it, and I think
I
it infringes upon our First Amendment right.
I'm very close to conceding that, but I'm not quite there. So what I'll say is that I think that every human being, every American certainly has the absolute fundamental right to be treated with dignity, respect, and be comfortable in their own skin. Trans people have gone through horrible amounts of oppression over the past 100 years, and if it makes them feel better that you use a certain pronoun, you should do it. And I think that where government plays a role in civil rights, which is what this is, I think that the government has to step in when people are repeatedly trampling on someone's rights because they don't agree with their lifestyle. So, for that reason,
So you think people have a right to not be offended, is what you're saying?
no. I think that that's the snowflake mentality that you try to push on the left. I think that you are in the
I don't
wrong.
push that.
You don't, but a lot do. But I think that you are in the wrong if you want to marginalize someone's identity. And I have no problem, no one should be put in jail for using the wrong pronoun twice. But if you are doing it deliberately, I think that again, I don't know if I'd vote for it. That's a real tough one for me because I understand freedom of speech, but it would be pretty close. So
Yikes.
that's gender and pronouns.
Yeah.
So
Well,
let
hopefully
us
you
know what you
guys
think.
found this somewhat interesting.
Left,
leftmike@mike.com. Let us know. We actually are launching polls on there, so you can let us know who you agree with, basically.
who won?
Yeah, well, who won or who you agree with. Kind of the same thing, pretty
Are
much
you
sometimes.
are you on Twitter? Are you on Twitter, buddy? Where are you on Twitter?
Oh, no, I don't use that. I'm on MySpace at Debate Right Mike. So
MySpace.
add me on MySpace. I've already got this guy Tom on there. He's my friend. So I could use more friends. Tom and I,
Hit it
we
off.
never really met or hung out, but
His a buddy.
he added me like immediately.
And
So
and I'm on Twitter as well. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, if you want to yell at me, at debate left Mike, debateleftmike@gmail.com. We are on all of your favorite platforms. So leave a comment,
yeah.
subscribe, let
One
us know
other
what you
one
think.
other important thing.
One other
We're
thing.
gonna do our new segment. Say something nice.
How this works is we are both going to pick we'll do this periodically, a topic, a person, or something similar for the other person, and then vice versa. And then we will have to say something nice, round robin style, about that topic or person until one of us taps out with nothing else nice to say. So you have to say something nice about the one, the only, the pantsuit champion of the world,
Oh God.
Hillary Clinton.
Oh, Hillary Rodham Clinton.
What do I got? What am I going up
Donald
against?
Trump, obviously. It's got to be Donald Trump.
You had to?
The first thing I would say about Hillary Clinton that's nice, even though her pantsuit things that she does makes her look a little bit like a librarian from outer space, I kind of like them because it reminds me of Star Trek.
You're going to start with physical appearance. That you realize how sexist that is just off the gate, right?
Don't care.
Of course you don't. You're the right way. All right. I'm going to beat you in this, but I don't know who the victor is then, right? If I can say more nice things about Donald Trump. Preface: I f***ing hate Donald Trump. I think he's an absolute disgrace to this country. That said, say something nice about Donald Trump. ISIS. I mean, president's resume under Trump, ISIS has really dwindled. So, thank you, President Trump, for helping to defeat ISIS. Your turn.
Hillary Clinton, despite being clearly like postmenopausal because she's so old, she's like for a postmenopausal woman, she's surprisingly slippery.
Slippery. What is define slippery?
Let the wheels turn on that one for a minute. That she's a skilled politician. She's good at navigating the dual lenses. Do
you have actually anything nice to say about
that
Hillary
is a
Clinton?
compliment. She's a politician. She's good at it. She's good at being a politician. That's like someone that if you're a bridge builder, you're good at building bridges. She's good. I mean, that's the game in politics, and she navigates that really well. Trump doesn't, obviously. I mean,
I mean, Donald Trump. So, hold on. Don't give him the Nobel Peace Prize, you crazy conservatives. He hasn't done anything yet, but he brought North Korea to the table. And I think that no matter how terrible a leader is, I think that any progress starts with a conversation. So I'm very skeptical. I don't at all think that this is something yet to be celebrated, but it's a plus one. It's a point. All right, you got another one for Hillary?
Yeah. Sure. So Hillary Clinton, she is very, very intelligent. I mean, she is super smart. She went to Yale for law school. I mean, to get into Yale, you've got to be super smart in the first place. And law school, I'm sure, was no picnic. So she's very studious and very intelligent.
All right,
give her those.
All right. I'm gonna go a half.
Not so
on
great
this
at the
one.
blowjobs, though. Apparently.
Oh Jesus. Trade. I am not a free
I have
trade
to
guy.
satisfy horny Bill anyway.
I think that Donald Trump is right that free trade is not fair trade. However, I think the way he's dismantling our trade agreements is terrible. So half a point to Trump for not letting American businesses be put out of the competition by shitty trade deals. So half a point. You running low yet? Got anything?
Ooh, I mean, I can't really bring up Benghazi or
Christ.
email servers or anything.
Tap out.
She's not
Do I
good.
win?
She's not good at those. No. I think I could think of something else nice to say about Hillary Clinton. She's very loyal. I mean, she really stuck by Bill. She didn't.
Political gain.
She didn't have any. Well, I mean, it could have just been a political play, but for me, I'd like to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that that's integrity on her part, is being able to work through that with Bill. With all the rapes, all the rapes.
I don't want to.
She stayed with him. She stuck by her man.
So I really thought I was going to get you on this one, but he golfs a lot.
I don't know if I can call that.
And sleeps with porn stars. Ordinarily, I'd be his biggest fan. That's all I got. I think I won. I think I had better, nicer things to say, but I'm out of them.
He golfs a lot. Is not. He didn't seem genuine at all.
So that's it for this week. LeftMike, is the website. You can find us on all major platforms. Anything else you want the kiddies out there to know, right, Mike?
Fight the patriarchy, guys. Fight the patriarchy.
Resist. We'll see you next week.
#resist.
#resist. @debate right Mike. @debate left Mike. We'll see you next time, guys.
See ya.